Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke. And over here in the hoodie to my right,
Mr. No Cool Nickname.
yeah, we're going back to that apparently.
Yeah, the other one's just too damn long, man.
Is what it is. No problem.
Nah, I ain't worried about it.
We'll figure out a different one. But we're back. Gonna bring you something a little bit different again, like spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with some wine, man.
So we're gonna do another wine episode, and we are gonna do one that we know you like the type of wine.
Yes.
And then the other one is a blend, and it actually tells us the blend, so we can get into it. But this one's actually from Spain.
Okay.
So this is a Spanish wine. I think the other one is California.
Alrighty.
And to pair with it, we're gonna go with something a little bit stronger. We are going to do the Espinosa Murcielago.
Yeah, man.
Right.
This is one of your favorites, though, right?
This is one of my favorites.
A normal rotation
yes,
joint for you.
Absolutely. And I think the word Murcielago means bat or something like that. That's why
Don't
the
get
bat.
me lying.
That's
why
the
symbol's
bat
on here.
Yeah, that's why the bat symbol's on here. So
Thought it was the favorite stick of Bruce Wayne.
I mean, it could be.
Terrible joke. Terrible joke.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go off of that one. But this is a relatively newer cigar from Espinosa, but definitely one of my favorites. Like you say, it's in my regular rotation. I've always got a 10-pack or so sitting in the Humi. And if this is not one that you have had, you definitely need to try it. I'm a big fan of Espinosa. I like most of what they put out. I don't know.
See, I really love the way the fragrances come through on this.
It smells kind of chocolatey, sweet, earthy.
Yeah.
Definitely
chocolatey. I definitely get like a lot of the chocolatey smell on the nose on it, which is surprising, right? Like a lot of cigars, like if you smell it unlit, you don't get a whole lot from them. So this one is one of those that definitely jumps out, man. So
yeah, I love it that you get a good aroma off the cigar before you even light it. I think that's a really good sign. But I guess let's get into our wines.
Okay.
So do you want to start with the blend or the Zinfandel?
Let's go with the blend, man.
All right.
It was a little sweeter last time.
Right. So this blend is, and I'm probably going to butcher the words. That's okay. It's 40% Trincandeira, 40% Syrah, and 20% Aragonés.
Okay.
So
don't know what none of that means.
I don't know what none of that means either.
Cool.
But some master blender, whatever, decided that would be a good blend, and we're gonna give this a try.
Well, we're gonna find out. Find out.
We already did decant these, so we don't have to worry about that. There you go.
Thank you, sir. So is this a fresh crack? Like, did you open it today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I opened it today, but let it decant for about 2 hours before I put the cork back on.
Got a little more. I went a little more this time around. Let's see if I can do this without dropping the cork this time.
It's got a nice aroma. I mean, nice thing about wine is you're almost never going to smell the ethanol. It's super low proof.
Yeah.
Compared to what we normally drink. This one is 14%. The other one is 15%. It looks like. So
let's see here. You can do my wine thing. Give it a little swirl.
Yeah, give it a nice
little swirl there. I always worry that it's going to splash out on me, and I got on white, so
That's why I usually do the slow swirl like this.
Okay.
To just coat the glass.
So just use the wrist.
Yeah.
And it's all in the wrist, folks.
Like you can see the little tendrils. Like there's not that many. They're spaced really far apart. That tells me it's not sweet.
So our palate should be good and primed.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see,
okay.
what.
Let's do it.
That one has a little bitterness on the back.
It's dry. It's just a little more dry than I was expecting.
Yeah, this is the blend. So the last blend that we did
was sweet.
This one is definitely way more dry.
Yeah. Yeah, that last blend was pretty sweet. I actually really enjoyed that last one.
You and me both.
this one, I mean, I like a dry wine, so I'm okay with it. But the other one I think was a little bit better.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
All right.
And I'm no wine connoisseur, so you know, don't take my word for anything. Like, you know, I'm just here enjoying the vibe.
Let's see. Let's see how our cigar pairs with the wine. Typically, if you're going to do a wine pairing on a cigar, you want to go with something that's a little bolder, a little stronger, a little more flavorful, especially if you're going with a red.
Right.
Yeah, I do love that aroma on the outside. Interesting, though. Not much on the cold draw.
Mm-mm. Man, look at that smoke production. Great combustion. And a burst of flavor.
Man, that's so good.
A burst of flavor, bro.
Like, I retroed the light, and it's just... I love the cigar. I do.
Good chocolatey notes.
Yeah, man.
You know, a little bit of oakiness in there. You know, damn, that's a damn good cigar, man. Like the footlight on that is
it's really
good.
Really good. And these are inexpensive. I mean, even at retail, these are pretty inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think these are like $10 or something like that, somewhere around there. I think the Lancero costs a little bit more. This is the Robusto, and it's a box press.
Yeah,
you know,
which is
we love it.
We love box press, right?
Box press.
So here's the thing I noticed real quick, right? Like I did a very small cut of the cap.
Yes.
And I am getting a ton of smoke.
Yes.
Like a ton.
And the draw is great.
It is,
like
right?
Even, yeah.
So I know I have a problem doing a double draw.
Okay.
So I'm trying to be better about that because, like, you know,
I'm the same way. Because a lot of times you have to, that first draw kind of, I don't want to say it relights it, but it kind of ramps up combustion.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that second
draw is where you really get, you know, all those flavors. Maybe that's why we smoke too fast. We always do the double draw.
Could be it.
Like, I mean, I know that I do it, but it's so unconscious at this point.
I mean, like I have to literally tell myself, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's still a ton of smoke. Still a ton of smoke.
Like, but I had to like tell myself even during the draws, don't stop drawing. You know,
and I didn't enjoy it as much. Like I didn't enjoy it as much.
Like it was just weird. It was weird. It was out of character almost. Like
so, I'll say this right. So I think with the double draw, what I find that happens is there's still smoke just in there, you know, billowing around in your mouth, right?
Yes.
So that second draw, you know,
brings in more.
Just brings in more and allows it to like you to really gain the flavors and everything that, you know, you're trying to get.
Yeah, it kind of felt weird.
The one draw was not okay. It was just awkward. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't like it. I don't like it.
You know, and now that you bring it up, I wonder, is that like a common thing?
Tell us in the comments, man. Do you double draw your cigar?
Like, we're gonna have to ask some folks in the group. Like, do you guys double draw? Like, cause I've never really paid attention to see if other people do it.
Yeah.
Like, I never even realized you did it.
Yeah. I can't help myself. Like, it's just one of those, like, it's just normal. Like,
yeah.
So, you know.
I wonder how common that is. Huh.
It feels better. I'm not gonna lie. I get more of what I'm looking for when I do the double draw versus, you know, just trying to do one long extended draw.
Yeah, like I just did the single one there again, and it just didn't feel the same.
It doesn't. Not the same smoke, weird. You know.
It's so weird. That's just so funny that you brought that up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I do that too.
I'm nothing if not a creature of habit.
Mm-hmm.
This is dry.
It is dry. This is possibly drier than a Zinfandel.
Yeah, man.
It might be. You know, so that has to do with the blend. Now, I will say this. With the wine club, something that I've been able to do is explore all these different wines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually able to figure out there's a particular... So when I read those things off, those are varietals of grapes.
Okay.
Okay, that make the particular wine. So when we
Gotcha.
say a Merlot, that is the type of grape, right? So what I have figured out, there's one that I just don't like, and it's
Okay.
called Tempranillo. So when I see that it has any Tempranillo in it, or if
You're
it's
gonna
just a
leave it on
straight
the
up,
shelf.
I'm just going to leave it. I don't want it.
Got you.
I don't know what it is about it. I don't like it. I think it's too bitter, and I don't like things that are crazy bitter. I'm okay with the dryness. It's just the bitterness I don't like.
Yeah. So the first sip I took of it, there was definitely a bitterness on the back for
There,
me.
this one is a little bitter.
Um, it wasn't as bad on the second sip. Um, again, the beauty of wine, man, really is something flavorful that's not high proof. That you can just kind of enjoy, going through it and drinking it, right?
Absolutely.
Without the fear of over drinking.
Yeah. And you can try, if you're in a restaurant, you can try different bottles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them do by the glass, right?
Or if you have a friend like Jason, you can just go to his house and
Just do a tasting.
just do a tasting because
Yeah.
his wine collection is pretty crazy, right? Like I don't think it's anything that like there's not any like rare crazy wines
No,
there or
no,
anything
no,
like
no.
it's just that he has a lot. So I can sample a bunch of different things and really get a chance to figure out what I like and don't like. And then when I'm at a restaurant, I can go, hey, give me
Yep.
a red Zinfandel,
Right.
you know.
Right. You can go straight to that section and
Yeah.
be like, oh, give me that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've got some more experimenting to do, um, but I don't need another hobby, right? I don't need anything else that's going to cost me money. I buy enough bottles of bourbon and enough cigars.
It's funny you say that though, because like I never, even though wine, as far as spirits is concerned, I'd say wine is probably my first love. But it never became a hobby for me. Like yes, I have quite a few bottles, but that's just because I like wine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not going out to like tons of like wineries or
Trying to find specific
trying
ones.
to find specific bottles
I
or
get that, but it's still a hobby because if you do like wine, like
it's a small hobby.
yeah, you
I
keep
mean,
a good, different variations
yeah.
on hand. So
I mean, that's just because I like variety. And when I want a bottle of wine, I want to be able to just walk over and get it. But again, like I told you before, I used to be a much bigger wine drinker, and so
gotcha.
I needed to have more,
Mm-hmm.
and it just became a thing of I had so when I stopped drinking wine as much, I had a pretty good sized collection.
Gotcha.
So all I've done at this point is kind of maintain the
The
collection.
collection that you've had.
Yeah,
That makes sense. That makes
so
sense.
I've got a pretty good sized rack over there. I'm in a club, and I've got the lowest you can possibly have,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that gets me about a case every 3 months.
Okay.
So
And a case is how many bottles of
12
wine?
bottles.
Okay.
So you're talking like that's a bottle a week.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm not really drinking that much, so so it's starting to grow a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to like pause it or something like that, whatever. But
Or just drink more wine.
or just drink more wine. I've given bottles away too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah. You
so,
gave us two.
yeah, and I don't, folks. I mean, I'm spending like $10 a bottle. So we're not talking like crazy expensive.
Definitely not bourbon prices.
Absolutely not.
That's a great cigar, man. Like, and here's the thing. So I haven't done the band in a while. So this is one that we can actually do, like, because this band is pretty cool. Like if I seen this in a humidor, I would definitely go look at it. One, because it's made by Espinosa and I'm a fan of Espinosa cigars, right? But this one just the black and silver, it's reflective, right? And then it's got a bat on it, man. Like, and that is just cool. Like, maybe Jason can zoom in on it when we do the editing at the end there. But it's just a beautiful wrapper, bro. Like it's so simplistic, but it really is just really cool. Like it says Espinosa on the bat as well. Um, Murcielago on the other side. The big Espinosa double band at the bottom. I would definitely go pick this up if I was in a humidor and go, hey, tell me about this. Like,
Yeah, I mean it shines from across the room because
Yeah,
it's so
absolutely.
reflective, and the 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 emblem is so big
Mm-hmm.
compared to everything else that you can't help but notice it.
Yeah, I will say this: it's smoking very fast.
Yes, and we smoke fast too.
We
Like
do, but like for for
notoriously.
guys that smoke fast, this thing is like it's zooming.
It's that double puff.
Gotta do it. But it's so very good, man. Like Like the aromas just filling the room even smell good, right? Like so.
And I think, we've talked about that before about how when a cigar is so good that you can't help but just puff,
Yeah,
puff, and puff, and,
yeah.
and it makes it go by faster. But I'm with you on this one. Like it's why it's in my regular rotation. I mean, I
Luke is a big
always
fan of that too.
he loved this is his favorite cigar.
Shout out to Luke, man. We're gonna
Yeah,
get him on the podcast
yeah, we're
soon.
gonna get you there.
But
So if and if you don't want this kind of level of flavor and strength, Espinosa makes a bunch of other stuff. One of my favorites, other than this, is his Laranja line, or Laranja, however it's pronounced.
okay.
And originally it was just the orange, but now there's like two or three others, and
Okay.
so those are incredible, um, and they range from medium to full strength. So
Here's something that I'm noticing, right, with us doing the wine episodes. Um, Drinking wine really tames a cigar way more than I think bourbon does.
yeah, I
And I'm
mean,
guessing it's just the dryness of the wine.
I think it's a combination of the dryness and unlike bourbon, there are like particles in here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is made from like crushed grapes,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
they can't filter everything out.
I agree.
And so, like, there's stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think when you drink it, it kind of coats the palate
Yeah,
and actually stays, So, I think it's covering up parts of your palate that you would normally taste the flavors of the cigar.
so that brings up an interesting thing, right? Like we recently just did the wine, and then we went with a glass of bourbon
We
afterwards, right?
did
We
like
went with
super
a.
average bourbon.
Well,
Like,
I don't want to say that on the podcast. Like
what?
I'm
You
not
gonna
gonna
tell them
say
what it
that out
is?
loud. It was Eagle Rare, right? So low proof bourbon, but it made the flavors of Eagle Rare just pop after having a glass of wine.
Yeah,
I was shocked
I was
at
shocked. Yeah.
how much better it tasted after having the wine.
Yep. Yeah.
Like,
So to I don't want to say test it, but to see what's going on there, we are actually when we're done recording, we're gonna try a higher proof bourbon
right?
that we sort of think is kind of average,
Yeah,
and just see what happens.
yeah.
I can't say that I've ever done. I don't typically mix
Me neither.
my alcohols.
Me neither.
Like I might do like I might mix spirits,
Right.
but I'm not going to mix wine, beer, and spirits. Like
Right.
that's just not going to happen. Like I've
Absolutely. I
never done
agree.
that before,
I agree.
and I, so I've never done like wine then a spirit, and it was very interesting. It surprised the hell out of me. Oh, you got a smoke ring just now?
Did I?
Yeah, man.
You know,
I wonder if I'll be able to like focus on that
we'll
in
see.
editing.
You know,
That was pretty cool.
professional
He had
smoker.
a little smoke ring in there. That was kind of neat.
Professional smoker, baby. I know what it is. Totally on accident.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Not too bad, man. Like, it's hard for me to drink wine slow.
Well, of course,
It's
kind
so
of.
low proof. It's kind of tasty.
I think maybe if you're eating, you probably drink it slower.
Well, yeah, because
But
I'm eating.
but while you're smoking, it's kind of hard to do it because the cigar is drying out your mouth and you need something to drink, right? Whether it's water or wine or whatever.
I think the wine is drying out my mouth more than the
yeah,
cigar.
that's
Like,
probably true. And I've said it before, when I'm drinking wine with a cigar, I typically don't even bother with water. There's so much water in the wine, like you don't really need it.
all right, on to the next one.
Yeah.
So this one is actually a red Zinfandel.
It is.
All right. Do a healthy pour here like the last one. I'm getting better with the wine, man. Like, doing a little more and not hating
he's so
it.
used to like pouring bourbon.
Yeah, man. Like, tiny itty bitty pours,
Yeah.
trying not to, well, here, I won't recork it. Trying not to, overdo it and get a little too much. But this is quite enjoyable, man. Like, being able to quickly go from glass to glass. Like,
Yeah.
I know I said on the last episode, like, or, last time we did the wine, like, I don't know how you could sit and drink, a bottle of wine in one sitting, but I can see it.
Now can you see?
Yeah,
Like
because
it's just
we could easily empty
it's
one
not
of
going
these
to throw you
bottles.
under the table. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like
easily.
you're talking. It's a third of the alcohol per ounce, or no, it's even less than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's like a fifth of the alcohol or
yeah.
whatever. Like or no, it's even less than that.
This is
So we're
so
talking
good.
about between 15% and what 50%. So
Yeah,
that's about a quarter of the
yeah.
alcohol. So
A lot lower. Any way you
it's
look at it, it's a lot lower.
ridiculously lower. So you can definitely make bigger pours. I mean, you're not going to feel it. Like, but yeah, I agree with you on the cigar. By the way, like this, I can't say it. I'm surprised it's been this long since we've actually done this cigar. But
Have we done it on the podcast before?
this? No, we have not done this.
That's surprising.
I know.
We both enjoy this cigar, so the fact that we haven't done it is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have it in my normal rotation, but it's definitely a cigar that I smoke every once in a while. So let's see where we are on this one. They don't smell different at all. Like between the two, I don't smell any differences.
No.
Maybe just a tad bit less, grapes in this one. But I still get Welch's grape juice. So
So the tendrils on this one are quite different. Probably won't be as dry. Is it dry?
even more dry than the blend.
Come on. Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't think that it is. You know what? It might be as dry, but it's not as bitter.
It's not as definitely not as bitter. I will say this has more flavor than that blend.
Yeah. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Jason got me feeling more sophisticated today and less old man. Normally our bourbon, they tell me all the time, my kids are like, "Ah, that's an old man's drink."
I mean, is it though?
Nah,
I don't think so.
Drink of champions.
I mean, bourbons and whiskeys, man, that's like made a huge resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
But wine, I guess, has just never gone out of style.
It has not, man. Like, you can go to any restaurant in town and see multiple people having a glass of wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they serve wine or any type of spirits, you're gonna see multiple people having something. So,
and it's fun, pairing particular wines with particular foods. Like, they really can enhance it. It's hard to say that a bourbon or a whiskey is going to enhance a food.
Yeah.
But with wine, you can have a lot of fun with that.
Well, I'm having lasagna for dinner. I should probably pick up a bottle of wine.
Hey,
I mean, pick up.
You ain't got to. You can pick one up from right over there.
Okay, I'll have you send me home with something.
Or you can just take one of these home.
Okay, we might do that. We might have to do that.
I don't need to have this many open bottles.
Yeah, because now you got to drink them. So that's a good question to ask, right? So how soon after opening a bottle of wine should you finish it?
If you're leaving it out at room temperature, I think the guidance is within like 3 days.
Okay.
If you put it in the fridge, it's more like a week.
Okay.
So, and I know there's a stigma about putting wine in the fridge and, and drinking like that. These are chilled. So these were in the fridge, but I pulled them out about an hour before we drank them. So they're probably around, 50 or 60 degrees. I don't have a wine cooler. That keeps wine around 50 or 60. I can't remember the exact number. But it's not very long.
Right.
It's just like getting like a beer growler.
Okay.
Once you, and it's not even when it gets filled, it's already cracked.
Yeah.
So you got to drink that within 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Or at least, you're supposed to. But can you leave a wine bottle in the fridge, for more than a week? Probably.
It's just not going to taste the same.
Especially if it's a cheaper bottle. And if you're not like a sommelier, like if you're just an average wine drinker or just starting out, you're probably not even going to notice the difference.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, it's one of those things like if you crack a bottle of wine, you probably want to plan to have that drink in a few days.
Gotcha. That sounds good.
Which, frankly, shouldn't be hard to do. Like, no, it's so low proof. Like, having a couple of glasses of wine, at night with dinner or with a cigar, like you just drank half the bottle. Like, because a glass is typically 4 ounces ish.
Okay.
Like that's a pour for wine, and there's only 25 ounces in the bottle.
Okay.
So that's 6 pours.
And if you're splitting that between 2 people, you're
It's not
3 a
hard to do.
person.
It's not hard to
It's not
do.
hard at all. Not hard at all. I like it. I like this one the better than the blend. Um, but surprisingly, on the last episode we did with wine, I preferred the blend.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird? Like, it's the same grape, right, as far as the Zinfandel is concerned.
Yeah.
But that blend was just a little bit better, as far as the ones that we had. It's very interesting. But, I mean, this one's still good. Like, this is one I would drink.
Oh, absolutely. So the problem I'm finding with wine is with every sip I take, I want to drink more. That's kind of a problem.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, because I don't necessarily feel that way about bourbon. Like I always and it could just be the low proof that says, hey, it's okay to have more.
Right. You don't feel like you're like drinking alcohol necessarily.
Yeah.
It feels like you're drinking grape juice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hard to argue that.
The chocolatiness of this cigar really comes through. Like I really get a lot of that, which is surprising because I normally don't taste it so pronounced, but it could be, again, my palate is very different right now because
it could be. But you've had this with bourbon.
I know, but I've never had it come through as much as
Right.
I'm getting right now. So it very well could be the wine.
So that's an interesting thing to say. Like, you've had the cigar before with bourbon, and now you're having it with wine, and the experience is slightly different.
It is, but again, I said that before, right? Like, so I feel like the wine definitely tames the cigar way more than the bourbon, and I think it's just the way that wine coats your palate, the dryness of the wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of those things change the palate to where the cigar tastes very, very different.
Right.
Because I've smoked this cigar numerous times with bourbon and never had these flavor notes.
So is it better? Do you like the cigar better with wine, or is it just different, and you appreciate the uniqueness that you're getting?
Yeah, so I don't know that I prefer it with wine, because again, I prefer bourbon, right?
Sure.
That's just the clear and honest truth. I prefer to drink bourbon, but I'm not disappointed in what I'm getting from these paired together, right? Like it's a very complex combination, right? Like the cigar meshing with the wine is a completely different tasting than doing it with a bourbon.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's nice.
Glad I could bring that to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like it's nice to, have the different nuances. But again, we've talked about like all of the different things that, can change the palate, like drinking bourbons alone, right? Like so normally when we drink bourbon, we're smoking.
Yes.
I have made it a conscious effort now to drink more of my bourbons without smoking to taste them on a clean palate. And I am enjoying those, much more now. So yeah, good things out there and variation. Try different things. Try different ways. Another thing that's become a big thing for me recently is the Flips white chocolate covered pretzels.
Yeah.
Dude, I love having a glass of bourbon with those.
Okay.
Like the saltiness.
Yeah.
With the pretzel and the crunch and the chocolate, and then bringing in the bourbon. Love it.
I mean, that's a common thing. People eating chocolate, while they're smoking or drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of mixes things up on the palate. I mean, this is why when we do a Whiskey Wednesday, I love it that we typically have a lot of different offerings on the table, so you can get a lot of different flavor profiles.
Yeah.
Maybe something's double oaked, or it's finished,
Yeah,
or it's a tequila, or it's a rum, or it's a rye.
Yeah, or those proofs are different. Like,
yeah, right.
Right.
Exactly.
So you go from a standard, 80, 90 proof to a cask strength, or a barrel proof, or any of those type of things, right? Like the flavors are completely different from an 80 proof to 115 proof.
That's right.
So man, like the pairing is actually quite surprising. Like it's really enjoyable. But again, like I do think that I am smoking this cigar extremely fast. Like we normally do, 36, 40-minute episodes. And, I'm in the last third of my cigar.
Man, are you up to that first band already?
Yeah, I already had to take that off. Like,
Wow.
you know,
So Duran is really enjoying the cigar.
dude, like, it's a great cigar.
And
It
listen,
really is.
and listen. So we've said it. I've said it before. You know, this is a great price at retail, but if you go searching, you can get this for a
You can find a
ridiculous
hell of a
price.
deal.
So to be able to buy the cigar for what I buy it and for what it is and the flavors, it's incredible.
Yeah,
And
I don't
so
disagree.
it just reminds me over and over again that you don't have to spend $20+
To get a good
great cigar.
Yeah, but I feel the same way about bourbon, right? Like there's a
Absolutely.
lot of great bourbons out there that don't cost $80, $90, $100.
Wine's the same way.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend $20, $30 on a bottle of wine to get a good bottle of wine.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
So, what's your impression of box wine? See, a lot of people pick up a box wine.
I mean, you got your Bodas and your Franzias and, there's others. I mean, there's nothing wrong with box wine. It's just, it's mass produced, uh, you know, to keep the cost down. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with box wine. I know it's typically in the fridge. It just is what it is.
So, you're like wine connoisseurs. They're like, oh God, box wine. Like,
not everybody is a sommelier. Like, that's the thing. Like, not everybody is smoking Opus X's either. Like, there's a market for everything, right? And everybody's in a different place in their life, and there's plenty of people who are happy with drinking the cheapest possible beer, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the great thing about like all these different products on the market. There's a place for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's no reason to snub one or the other, right? It's like you like
if it's
what you
not your
like.
thing, it's just not your thing.
Yeah, like you like what you like. And so when it comes to box wine, I mean, if I'm being honest, I can't remember the last time I had box wine. But that is more of a thing of number one, I don't drink wine that often anymore.
Mhm.
And number two, box wine is like 5 bottles of wine in a box.
Oh, so they're big.
They're big. Now recently they've got like the Boda box, which is smaller. I think that's like a bottle, right? But at that point, you're just saving the cost on the glass.
Okay.
I think that's the savings there. I honestly don't know what the Bodas go for, but in my book, there's nothing wrong with box wine if that's what you like.
Okay, I like it.
I mean, so yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
I got you. Well,
there's a place for it. Just like there's a place for people who love Fireball. I mean, that's like the
that
number
place is
one,
not with us.
Like, but it's like the number one selling, spirit out there, isn't it?
Way too much cinnamon for me.
Like, so if that's what you like, then that's what you like.
Yeah, man. I don't disagree. I can tell you this. I think I like wine more than I like to admit. Or maybe these specific wines.
I think you just don't want to like it because you don't want to like have another hobby, as you said.
Yeah, I don't want to have to add anything else. But I am curious to try more different things and maybe even try some nicer wines, right? Like see if I go somewhere, one of these nice restaurants, and try one of these expensive wines, see if there's
a difference,
anything to it, right? Like the fact that it costs $30 a glass, versus the $8 to $10 that your normal glass of wine costs.
Right. It's so funny. Like I drink wine so infrequently now that every time I drink wine with a cigar, I'm reminded of how great they go together. Mm. Like I know that that's not a common thing for folks to drink wine while they're having a cigar, but it's really a nice pairing. It really is.
So again, the number one beverage or spirit to have with a cigar is said to be brandy, right? That's not my thing. Like brandy is just too sweet. But I would think wine lends itself a little bit closer to that than it does, the other things that we drink, right? Like it's a little bit sweeter, So I can see how wine and a cigar is a nice pairing.
I'm interested. I don't think I've ever done like a white like a Pinot Grigio, so that's like a semi-dry white wine
Mm-hmm.
with a light cigar.
So
You
I
know what
tell
I'm
you the
saying?
one I would be interested in trying it with.
What's that?
Damaso.
Man, that sounds like
Padron Damaso.
yeah, with
Full of flavor, but
right,
super light.
right.
If you were going to do it, that's the one. That's the cigar.
That's a great idea. So look, tell us in the comments, if you've got a great cigar and wine pairing that you'd like to, share with us.
I'm going to take it a step further. If you have a spirit and cigar pairing,
okay,
give us that, right? Let's
go.
try it.
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's give it a shot, man. We open to suggestions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Remember, all of this stuff is personal opinion, right? Like, this is just me and Jason doing what we like to do, trying different things, smoking cigars, So, y'all just let us know if y'all got some pairings that you'd like to see us try and get our opinions on. But we're about at time, man. Like, any final thoughts on anything?
I mean, the cigar is amazing. No matter what I'm drinking, and I think that says something.
Yeah.
About the cigar.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
Like you could be drinking water.
Yeah.
With this cigar, and I think you would absolutely enjoy this thing. It's just super flavorful. It's not overly strong. The strength doesn't overpower the flavors, but it is a I think it's a full body cigar.
I don't disagree.
Not crazy full body, but it is full bodied. I mean, we're smoking this thing fast. Like we're 35 minutes into the episode, and we're
powering
halfway done.
We're powering through.
So that's a testament to how great the cigar is. I can't put it down. The wines, I agree with you. I think in this case, the Zinfandel is better than this particular blend. But that's the fun thing about blends. Like, you don't know until you try it. And then if you keep trying various blends or what have you, you can figure out that there's a particular grape you don't like or a particular couple of grapes you don't like. So, but that, takes trial and error. But yeah, that's what I got. What you got, man? You didn't pull the other band off.
I did, man. Like, I'm a fast smoker in general, right? I smoke pretty fast. So I'm smoking this extremely fast. But this is just a phenomenal cigar, man. Like it's I think you can have this cigar at any point in the day, right? Like it can be your first cigar, your last cigar, anywhere you want it to be. Like it's got enough flavor and enough strength that you could have it as the last cigar of the night. But it's also not so strong that you couldn't open up with it, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all in any way, shape, or form. And truthfully, at the price point, like I don't know why I don't own more of them. I don't know why I don't buy more. I know it's at my local lounge, so when my next monthly allotment hits, I might pick up a few.
There you go.
Who knows? I might scour the internets, the interwebs.
The interwebs.
Find some things. Find some things. As far as the wine goes, man, like you might be converting me, man. Like I might like it a little more than I let on.
Right. But I get the feeling it's like I don't want to though.
Yeah,
I don't want to like it.
I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I feel like it's a moment type of drink, like, right? Like it's a experience type of drink, right?
Yeah.
I drink bourbon because I enjoy it. I feel like with wine, I enjoy it as well, but like it's a drink that I only want to have for certain occasions.
Gotcha.
Right. So again, like going home to have lasagna for dinner. My New York just came out. Like I heard it. I actually heard it, but going home to have it for dinner, that might work out.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, but with that being said, man, thank y'all for joining us on another episode of High Proof Ashes. I'm Duran, Mr. No Cool Nickname, and my co-host to the left.
I'm Jason JB Smoke, and keep tuning in for us to bring you all kinds of new things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell, man.
Absolutely.
Let y'all know when we drop new episodes. Put some smoke in the air.
That's right. See y'all later.